Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Alrighty. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to PanNerdia and the first ever PanNerdia Podcast. I'm Aaron.
I'm Robert.
And today we're going to talk about something we hold dear here at PanNerdia. Dragon Ball, and specifically Dragon Ball Super. Its life, its legacy, and where the future. Where is it going in the future?
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, that's one thing that Super indicates, right?
Right.
Super indicates that you are going beyond something. So just Dragon Ball in general, we love it so much because of the artwork. I mean, just the animations, like it's always on point. There's always, they have their hiccups here and there, but just like anything else, it's made by a man, whatever.
And a lot of it has to do with nostalgia, too. We both grew up watching, Dragon Ball Z back on Toonami during its syndication.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure most of you watched it that way, too. But some have just discovered it over the past years through video games or through Dragon Ball Kai or their friend mentioning this cool, sweet show they saw the other day. And whatever way it reached you, here at PanNerdia, we grew up on it. It's kind of in our blood, and we love every aspect of it, particularly what Dragon Ball Super had to offer.
Absolutely, and I think one thing that Toei Animation is starting to really grab a hold of is that this thing that they've had a following the whole time, they're finally starting to realize that they can really push this thing and they can really make it something. I mean, just not too long ago, the entire Mexican government was in trouble with Toei Animation and Crunchyroll and a whole mix-up.
Yeah, copyright issues because they wanted to play it live and big screens in city town squares.
Yeah, they wanted to live stream it in stadiums, an entire country.
Right. So they backed off, but they still did it in nightclubs and other venues and such. Just like they would with pay-per-view.
Yeah, exactly. Else. Just like a pay-per-view.
So they got away with it still, and there's even footage of in some kind of auditorium of the last episode. And, of course, it's in Mexico where this is taking place. And it's awesome that it can bring a community together like that. A show that, they grew up on as well, and then now we can see the future of it, where it is now, and how it brings us together. And we just wanted to sit here on this podcast today and discuss why we love the series, how we thought Super progressed, and if it kind of stayed true to the Dragon Ball Z roots, and what we thought about the finale, and what we think about the future movies and all that.
Exactly. I mean, as far as Super for me, the first like I would say quarter of Super. You're really questioning, like I was questioning, like
I very much.
Where is this gonna go? It seems like it's just another like GT epidemic. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, that's very well said too. It was essentially rehashes of the first two movies. And they were Dragon Ball Z movies, not even Dragon Ball Super. So Battle of Gods, Resurrection F, they were retellings of those movies done very poorly, animated poorly. They reanimated them, a lot of the scenes for Blu-ray, and it was very rushed. They didn't really give new insight to the movies, like that maybe the anime would throw in something special. there wasn't anything too crazy, and honestly, it wasn't until episode 27, the tournament, 6 and 7, Universe 6 and 7 tournament, that something new sparked.
Right. And I think it was actually you that told me when I was I hadn't watched Super yet, and I had plans to, but you were like, I would just wait. I would just start at episode 24 and move on from there.
Right.
You know, and some of my favorite memories, I mean, are like Beerus coming on the cruise liner.
The cruise ship, yeah.
Cruise ship. That was hilarious to me to see Vegeta like fall on his knees and act like terrified. You've never seen Vegeta terrified like that.
Oh man, I mean, for Super, Super did Vegeta wonders with his character.
Right.
I mean, from this hardened battle, aged character of Z to trying to hold that in Super, but he's just too much of a family man. Especially when Beerus comes around, he comes a whimpering little baby. At least in the beginning. But it is funny to see him because he's scampering around. He actually dances. There's that funny meme where it's Vegeta dancing over all different backgrounds.
Like he's trying to make Beerus food and stuff.
Right,
like,
takoyaki. And man,
he's just freaking out. Like, oh man,
that's clown.
That to me was just hilarious. It's just it brought a whole human aspect to Vegeta because he was always this rigid, just like you couldn't get through to him. He's a brick wall.
Right.
And it opened up your eyes to this really is a man that's experiencing life on Earth.
Right.
Even though he's from a different planet, here he is.
And he's had the childhood he had, and now he's come to live with Earthlings. And I mean, even his child's half Earthling now, and it tends to be that half-breed Saiyans are stronger or have more potential.
Potential, right?
So yeah, man. I mean, Super. It's all in the name, like you said earlier. It's literally it's to be super, to have fun, to go overboard to a degree. It's outlandish because Toriyama, he even said that he wanted to bring it back to its comedic roots. Dragon Ball, the original show, it was started as like an adventure comedy. Right. I mean, it was supposed to be. It was funny.
Exactly. Yeah, it was because I mean, for instance, when he's fishing with his tail for that big fish. I mean, come on.
Yeah, he's butt-ass naked.
Yeah, he's butt-ass naked, and this little just popping around, and you're like, whoa, man.
Yeah, and then you got Pervy Master Roshi, like in the third episode.
Yeah, it was actually an adult movie. It was an adult show.
Right.
I mean, but I mean, it's anime.
Yeah, that's the thing. And over in Japan, it's kind of, they make those shows pretty much for everybody. Yeah, they direct it towards kids, but a whole family can watch it, and adults can get something from it too. But it was always based in that comedic route. Even though it got serious over time, it still kind of kept that throughout.
Absolutely.
And Dragon Ball Z, happened, and it carried this serious tone. And it had its funny moments, but ultimately it carried this serious tone throughout, this badass tone. And it's not knocking on Super. It had its badass moments, but it definitely had more slice of life and just funny comedic relief moments that kind of went back to his roots.
Right, exactly.
And Vegeta was a great example.
A lot of people don't realize, or maybe they don't know, or maybe you do know, that Dragon Ball Z, when it got to the Cell Saga, they were still waiting. They were animating as the mangas were coming out. So when they didn't have the manga to animate, they had to draw out that whole, every single portion of that. I remember watching Dragon Ball Z and being like, so much dialogue. Oh yeah. Like, get to the fighting. But I didn't realize as a kid that they were trying to keep, or they're right on the heels of the manga coming out.
They needed it to keep ahead, because that's the thing about, back then, they had the manga before the anime, and nowadays with Super is ahead of the manga. But the manga's taking its own liberties, and we can discuss that a little bit later. But ultimately, I guess back to just where we're at, kind of like our favorite moments kind of from the beginning. So, the whole Vegeta with Beerus, and then Goku's attaining this god power, this hidden power, and I loved the new form. It was so simple. It kind of takes your expectations to another place, because you think next level is going to be, Super Saiyan, well, they're not going to do 4 because that was GT. What are they going to do? And it's Super Saiyan God, and it's just so simple and perfect. And the way they have this, it's a great way to introduce and slingshot the Dragon Ball world into the realm of the gods
Yeah.
with Goku versus Beerus, and I love that.
Absolutely. I mean,
and it just to see, well, for one, and they always do this in Dragon Ball, the hierarchies of gods keep climbing as the show goes on, and they don't mention the other gods before. It's a trope in this show, but I'm okay with it because ultimately, like I said, it leads to this expansion. And then they bring back Frieza, and now since the show's over, I'm glad they did Frieza this way. I'm glad they brought him back, made him relevant again with get him to his gold form, because where they put him at in the Tournament of Power, it was this perfect sync of a overarching story in Dragon Ball Super that now it's giving Goku that Batman Joker hero villain thing now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where Frieza's always going to be there, and
Right, and remember the other night I was telling you I was like, man, I guarantee Goku and Frieza are going to fight together for the first time.
And it was awesome.
Man, were they badass.
Oh boy, and we'll get to that here soon. As far as Resurrection F goes, I loved the movie. I saw it in theaters.
Right.
I loved it. The animation was gorgeous. When it came to the anime, they did it wrong in the anime. Not necessarily wrong. They just didn't make it better by any means.
But they had to give a more compact version of it because it's in the anime.
Right.
They couldn't really do it as good as they could in the movie.
Yeah, and you already knew what was happening, so it wasn't real impactful, and nothing really came from it that was different. Gotenks got involved for a minute, and then immediately got sent back home. So
right.
But then we get to the Universe 6 and 7 tournament, which is essentially Beerus and Champa fighting over the Super Dragon Balls because Champa's secretly collecting them.
Right.
What did you think about Champa as a character?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I feel like he was put there to give something more to Beerus. I think as far as the storyline goes.
Okay, I could see that.
he was put there to give Beerus more of a storyline because really didn't have a storyline from Beerus, but now we know that they're brothers.
There's brothers, so there must be some connection.
Right, there's some connection. So that actually it puts them in the same universe. So how are they brothers if not being in the same universe?
I think they're from the same universe, and some will argue that they might even be, though Dispo is more rabbit-like, from the same... They might even be from Universe 11. Because Gods of Destruction are mortals before they become Gods of Destruction.
Exactly, yeah.
And which is interesting. I liked Champa. I thought he was funny. It was another comedic relief character. I loved his whining. It made me laugh every time.
Right.
It was just something about him. It was just that charm to a degree. But the tournament was great because it introduced finally new characters to the series.
Right.
Besides
we got some good characters too.
Yeah, really good ones. And some weird ones. You got little Manaka with
Manaka.
That whole fucking little side story. But Hit's
cool.
Hit
is cool. He's mysterious. I kind of feel like he's along the lines of Piccolo. He's
one of those.
Yeah, he's one of those wise, gonna teach you something kind of guys.
Cool as shit. I'm pretty sure he's got cold judgment as a link skill in Dokkan, just like Piccolo and Pikkon do.
Right. So I mean,
he just got that cold judgment, But then they introduced more Saiyans. Kaba.
Right, we got Kaba, we got Kefla.
Yeah, and they come later with female Saiyans, which is great. They needed some more of those in the series. But, they introduced these new characters into the tournament. It was exciting. No new forms, but Goku brings back an old one, stacks Kaioken on blue.
Right.
And that whole scene there was so dynamic. It was just a fun arc. It had its downfalls here and there, but it was really fun. So much so I loved it that I even picked him up the manga chapters of the Universe 6 and 7 arc because I loved it so much. I figured he'd love seeing the art in manga form.
Absolutely,
too.
And I read through that whole thing. I mean, it was really cool.
It was really fucking cool, right?
Yeah.
So they kind of dived into some weird territory with the Pafuba arc. Are you familiar with that arc? That's when
I'm not really familiar with Pafuba.
Pafuba, that's where they had copy Vegeta. Essentially, they went to this little planet, and this thing, this mysterious liquid or force on the planet will copy somebody's energy and techniques, and then it was filler. Might agree. I didn't really like it. It was blah blah blah. It could have went down the drain as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
The dub did it great because they brought back Brian Drummond, who was the voice of Vegeta in the first English dub.
Oh, yeah.
The famous over 9,000. That one. That Brian Drummond, they had him voice copy Vegeta, where Sabbath is voicing real Vegeta. It was perfect.
I actually have seen that clip.
That's pretty cool.
I remember seeing that, and I remember laughing at that.
Fan service, bro.
Right. That's
awesome.
I mean, and I'll tell you what. I mean, at Toei Animation, they know that we're watching. They know that we're looking.
Well,
for...
Funimation does the dub.
Okay, but I'm saying just they know that we're looking for the spoilers all the time.
Oh yeah.
Well, you know, everybody's always looking for the spoilers, and I'll tell you what,
they're trolls.
This time around, they got us.
They're trolls, absolutely.
They fed us and fed us and fed us, but nope, you can't have those last 2 episodes.
Oh
you can't have them.
They're tricksters. They are. You know, and they really are tricksters with the whole Goku Black Future Trunks arc, because the reason I say that is Toriyama had an original like you know, manuscript, if you will, of Dragon Ball Super and what he had, like the original draft of what he wanted it. He just gave a copy to Toei, and he gave a copy to Toro at Shueisha, the comic book, you know, who took over the manga, and they kind of let them go at their leisure how to make the story. It comes to find out that not only was Vegito Blue a Toei decision, not a Toriyama. Toriyama didn't want Vegito Blue to come back, or Vegito to come back, especially turn blue. Toei also created Kale, the female Brawly, and Caulifla was created by Toriyama to accompany Kale. But we'll get more to that soon. But yeah, so, which I loved that Toei did it. I loved that they knew what we wanted. We wanted to see some fusion, because Zamasu and Goku Black, which was Zamasu, fused. So what a better fan service and money for fucking merchandise than have Goku and Vegeta fused to the favorite fusion, Vegito, and then go blue.
And then go blue, right. Yeah, and then give the fans females.
And give Trunks back.
Right.
You know, Future Trunks was such a big fan favorite back in Dragon Ball Z.
Right.
That bringing him back in Super was totally fan service. To a degree.
Yeah, I can just, but also Trunks, I can just see all the little anime girls like going, ooh.
Oh yeah, man, they love him.
Trunks is a stud, man. I mean, he's like that biker dude. You expect him on a motorcycle. He's got this sword.
He's always got his cool jacket. He's a thug, man.
He's got his little hair parted. He's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, and he's a baller for sure, and he did that arc justice. I really did appreciate it. Yeah, the arc's rushed here and there. Yeah, especially the Vegito Blue episode and the last couple episodes of the arc where Trunks slices Zamasu. You know, it was all rushed, and they really didn't give Trunks a happy ending. I mean, he had to go back to a future that wasn't his to live with himself. It's kind of fucked up. Pardon my language. It just is. Yeah. I have to say it. It really is. I wasn't real happy with that, but I had fun with it. We can sit and nitpick it all day.
Right.
It's not the perfect series. But I enjoyed it. And Super Saiyan Rose, come on. That's fucking, that's gorgeous. I love it.
Right.
It's good.
Even Zamasu,
I like that character.
Dude, Zamasu's so cool.
I mean,
he's a douchebag, granted, but he's cool. He's a cool character. He's a cool style of character, you know what I mean?
Cool concept to have a bad Kai.
Exactly. It is a cool, and he had really cool attacks.
Yeah, all the sword hands.
The sword hand that like just put people out like pow.
Yeah,
like, sit down, dude.
He was pretty cool. And he was strong. He was a he was a battle ready Kai, and not many of them are.
Right.
They're more about the wisdom, and he had between probably Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3 power himself.
Right.
And then it just needed him to be immortal to make him pretty ruthless.
I mean, but it was cool the way they used it for Beerus to put him out. Just
Hakai, that certain one, yeah, I love it.
He's like,
well,
Hakai. He says it all breathy.
Oh, apparently
like he really meant it.
Apparently, they're keeping that for the dub, so they're not going to make in the dub. They're not going to go destroy. They're going to keep Hakai.
No, I like Hakai.
It sounds good.
If you're a fan, if you're even watching it, you should know what Hakai is.
Yeah, destroy. So yeah, man. I mean, that was a good arc. Besides the ending. And then we went into the entire lead up, pre-tournament, and ultimately Tournament of Power, which was almost a year and a half long arc. If you split it up, isn't that crazy to think about? A couple weekends off here and there, but it went for a straight year and some change.
Yeah, and it came down. First it came down to picking who is gonna go with them, the 10 warriors.
Right, the 10 warriors, and then all their battles with that, and then getting their last secret warrior, which was fun, Frizua, and then getting into the tournament itself. Oh, and also having that preliminary tournament.
I mean, how do you feel about a specific tournament warrior selection, as in like Majin Buu or Buu being like the in shape Buu?
I would have loved to see the in shape Buu in the tournament, but
that would have been cool though, right?
The more and more you think about Buu in the tournament, he's broken. He's got so many abilities. He is literally magic. He's magic with absurd strength.
Right.
And he would have just totally dominated in that tournament, and it wouldn't have been as fun for the riders. So that's why I think they put him in the preliminaries, give him a good battle, which I loved it. I loved him battling. He battled not Lavender, not Bergamo, Basil, the kicker. I love that battle. Boo versus Basil. It will go down as one of the best DBS battles ever. In my opinion, I loved it. I love to see Boo back in action, and yeah. So, did you remember that?
I didn't watch that one.
The preliminaries were great, and what they did in the manga, which was cool, is they didn't have those preliminaries. The preliminaries was Universe 7 versus Universe 9, 3-on-3. Goku, Gohan, and Boo versus Bergamo, Basil, and Lavender, those three Wolf brothers, and because those two universes had the lowest mortal level, which means they have the least amount of sentient beings with thriving civilizations. They have the least amount. So they had a battle in preliminary. In the manga, the preliminary was all the Gods of Destructions battle each other.
Oh, you know what? I saw that on Super though.
Oh yeah, they just had the four Gods of Destruction from the universes not participating test out the arena, which was cool. But the one in the manga, it pretty much, I guess it didn't flat out prove, but it pretty much showed that Beerus is most likely the strongest God of Destruction, because he went Ultra Instinct on him.
Right.
He had like 4 Gods of Destructions trying to hit him at once, and he was dodging them.
Damn.
Like, get the F out of here, right? But after all this heebie-jeebie, then Boo goes to sleep. Goku decides his best bet is old Freezy Pop. And I love it.
He's such a trusting character. He's so trusting.
He's so trusting.
But no, it's not that he's not about. It's not about trust. He's just like, he knows what he's gonna do. He knows how he's gonna act. It's just he just happens to be one of the most powerful warriors in their universe.
Right. Frieza is very smart. He's not dumb.
No, he's a genius.
He is, yeah. So, and Goku in a way is too, for making that decision. Though it seems very rash and irrational all at once.
Right.
I love the fact that they picked him for the tournament to come in, and his reintroduction at Baba's palace, fighting all those assassins. It was fucking beautiful. I loved it. The animation was great. And then we get to the Tournament of Power, and we have, what is it? Like 60 plus new characters that we haven't seen before. Because, there's the characters that we've been getting introduced to up to the tournament. But then right when the tournament starts, there's like 60 extra characters we've never seen before, ever. And we get to see all the Gods of Destruction, everybody there. It was awesome and very ambitious.
And they were able to open up a creativity for everybody.
Right.
To just create. Now you have all these characters, all these different universes, all over the place. You can make whatever you want out of this. You know what I mean?
Right. You can have fun with all different abilities. And, granted, they didn't. I don't think they paced it as best as they could have. I think they could have made it feel more like a battle royale. They're towards the, I guess, last like 10 episodes, right? They were making it feel more because they were really good at panning between shots and showing different fights going on. But in the beginning, like 20 episodes of the tournament, it was too episodic. It was like this battle now this battle here, now this battle there. And here and there they would show snippets. But, I understand it's a lot to take on. It's very ambitious, like I said before.
Oh, it's super ambitious. You have way too much going on.
Way too much going on. But for as many lows that it had in the tournament in terms of just the writing and direction, it had just as many highs, if not even more, with the 109 and 110 special, where Goku first went Ultra Instinct, Megate no Gokui, and then, the whole fusion with Caulifla and Kale.
Right. And, that was...
I loved it. Some people hated that.
One thing, I loved it.
I loved it.
Because we got to see Goku do some cool shit.
Right.
Pardon my language.
Loved it.
But besides that, I think I don't feel like those Saiyans should be at the level that they are at against. They're teenagers.
Yeah, granted, they are younger. They were both only at like Super Saiyan 2 power, but I think they're pretty strong for Super Saiyan 2s. Not super strong, but you got to remember Patara Fusion multiplies their powers together.
Okay.
And essentially, that's their powers together, and that's them at base form. So once they do their Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2, they get that 500 times multiplier as Super Saiyan, and then the 10,000 or the 1,000 multiplier or 10,000 for Super Saiyan 2. So they were Super Saiyan 2 Kefla. That's the one who kicked Super Saiyan God Goku in the side of the head, making him go Ultra Instinct. That's strong. Super Saiyan 2 fused anybody is going to be strong, but a Patara fused Super Saiyan 2 stacked like that,
multiplies.
I would say it makes sense that she was that strong, because Super Vegito back in the Buu arc when he fought Majin Buu, he only went Super Saiyan 1, and he could have obliterated Buu with one shot if he wanted to, but he was playing around because he enjoyed the power too much.
Right.
But at that point, I bet he was stronger in Super Saiyan Red. I bet at that point that Vegito was.
Oh yeah,
because he could have went Super Saiyan 2 or 3 Vegito and been stronger than that. It's just Patara Fusion's ridiculously stronger than Finger Fusion.
Multiplies, right.
Yeah, versus just adds the powers. Finger Fusion adds the yeah. So that's the whole little, I guess, rule of thumb. But regardless, a lot of people didn't like her. I liked her, though. And the fact that it sparked Goku to go Ultra Instinct again, and also be one of the best scenes in Super ever with the Kamehameha.
That Kamehameha was ridiculous.
It was amazing. People talked about that for weeks, man.
And after that, Goku started skating on all types of stuff with Kamehameha balls.
Oh yeah, when he was fighting Jiren those last couple battles, I don't know if you guys saw it. It was in episode 130. He was literally doing feet Kamehamehas, hand Kamehamehas, grinding.
And he was like
Tarzan in the old 90s.
Oh yeah, where he's like he's got the vines with his toes on the bottom.
Yeah. Like surfing.
Old Tarzan cartoon. That's great.
That was one of my favorite movies. But yeah, all together, the Tournament Power was a lot of fun. Love the new characters. I love that episode 130 so much. The battle Goku and Jiren, Goku Master Ultra Instinct. That I'm doing a big painting about it that you guys will see time lapse on this channel. And then the last episode. Let's give our thoughts. The last episode of Dragon Ball Super 131. What did you think about it?
Oh, man.
Be honest here.
I will say right now that that episode, 131, gave me the real feeling of panic. Like, we need to get this motherfucker out. Sorry. We need to get this dude out of here now. Like, they were like, all right, he's tired. Jump on him. Go.
Yeah.
Get him out. That's the one time I've seen such a real sense of urgency.
Right.
In the entire Tournament of Power.
Yeah, I agree. Because before everybody was pacing a lot throughout the whole tournament.
Trying to keep their stamina.
And nothing really ever seemed truly at stakes with our universe, at least.
Right.
It was, maybe the universe that was about to get deleted, their God of Destruction or Kai got real, crazy and frantic and kind of showed desperation. But ultimately, our universe played it cool, so us fans played it cool.
Right.
It wasn't until those last moments of the tournament that flusteredness and readiness to just end it, it was getting to us, and I felt that too in the last episode.
Yeah, and we had a lot of characters coming together on this. We had characters being written more and given more depth, like 17. 17 got a lot, or 18. I'm sorry.
No, that was 17.
17, sorry.
Yeah, 17. 18 got her time too, but 17. Yeah, I was surprised that he ended up taking the cake. I actually liked it because some people wanted Gohan to do it, and yeah, granted, Gohan and Piccolo also had some of the lamest eliminations in the tournament. It's cool to see characters that we wouldn't expect have some of the best moments in the tournament, like 17 did, like against Ani Raza, and against Rupert Yan, and then he's coming in and giving a good ass show against Jiren.
Right, and I mean, going back on Gohan, his character disappoints me at this point.
Right.
Do you understand? I mean, back in the day, when he decided he's going to go back to school and everything, or his mom's always forced him to, whatever. But, I mean, he's just fallen back so far when in Dragon Ball Z, he was a powerhouse.
Oh, yeah.
A powerhouse. And, ultimately, like, defeating Cell, like...
coming back and doing work on Super Buu at one point.
Right, exactly. I mean,
he just settled down too much is all.
I know, but it's disappointing to me because Gohan was one of my favorite characters.
Oh, he was he was most everybody's favorite character, especially after the Cell games.
Right.
Everybody loved Gohan, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, especially our friend Dominic over here with his Super Saiyan 2 Gohan logo for his YouTube channel, and we got him saying, I think the episode should have been two episodes stretched over. First, one for the fighting aspect, and the second one for the feelings, the end game, the emotional part. I agree with you, Dominic. I will say, as much as we loved it, the Frieza and Goku stuff, everything else, it was smushed and crammed and rushed into one 23-minute episode. And it should not have been. It's the finale of Super. They ended it pretty open. To a degree. It might not be Super when it comes back, and it'll be called something else.
I think the finale to Super is the movie.
It could be, but I think there's going to be a new anime after the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say, okay, let's not even talk about Super. Let's just say the finale of the Tournament of Power.
Right.
Okay? It wasn't... I agree with him. I think it should have been more. We should have had more because it didn't give us something that really fulfilled you as far. You need more action. Like, honestly, they needed like an hour special to give you a full range of the battle. You got Goku and Frieza coming together, fighting together. I wanted to see more than what they gave us of that. But like I said, they were in this hurry because how many seconds were left in the Tournament of Power?
Oh, that last episode, it was like less than 30 seconds. Because I mean, these dudes are fighting at light speed at this point. The time of this tournament, it's the classic, 5 minutes left on Namek Frieza style here at the tournament. And ultimately, back when I said the pacing was a little bad. Certain parts felt more rushed than others. This last episode was absolutely rushed, but I did love it. Looks like we got another comment here from Racer X19 Bortzilla. I love it because I love the word Bort. Hopefully you're using that word appropriately. Thoughts on how Z ended? I mean, Toriyama handing over all the rights. Really? I like Super lately. Super's great. Super was great. Toriyama handing all the rights over, though? Not necessarily. I mean, he is the mastermind, Toribot himself. He is the ultimate god of the Dragon Ball world. He's making too much money to just hand over all the rights. He actually has helped writing the movie. It's an original script from him. Whether or not he'll be back after the movie, who can say? But, I don't know if he's handing over the rights. But Super... I enjoyed it. It started off slow and ended with a bang. There was lots to be said about improvement with the series. They could have done so much more. But they did what they did. It was a pretty show and a good effort for what it was. And ultimately, as a big Dragon Ball fanboy I am, I loved it to death.
Right.
I can't stay too mad at things about it for too long. I will be honest. Like I said before, there's things I hated about it, but it will never outshadow the things I loved.
Right, exactly. I mean, honestly, this is all just constructive criticism. We love Super.
Right.
I mean, there's no love-hate relationship. There's no, even though you don't like certain things about it, you still love it because it's unconditional love. It's been there since you were a kid.
Right.
And you grew up with it, and now it's grown with you to be, I'm 30 years old, and I still love Dragon Ball, and I'm not afraid to tell people. I'm like, here, look at these cards I just got, or whatever, you know.
I mean, if you see the demographic of who watches the show, it's a lot of people our age.
Right.
I mean, and ultimately,
exactly.
like in that last thing, again, with the Goku Frieza, like, when they were about to knock Jiren off, and Goku was turning old classic Super Saiyan on and off, and Frieza was powering up in his just base form, or his final form, which is his true form, they both roared, and everybody's like, go! Right. It actually, I choked up a little bit in that scene. Because it's so like, do it!
And that's a remake of an original scene.
Yeah, it's just so great, dude. What original scene?
With Goku and Vegeta. What was it?
Oh, it's kind of like, what it reminds me of is when Goku and Vegeta were fighting Metacooler together. Have you ever seen that movie?
I think it's like an old one, like a 95 or something like that. There's a scene of them doing the exact same thing. But
either way,
I want to touch on something real quick.
Right.
You go ahead and read that. I'm going to touch on something real quick that I think a lot of people overlooked.
Right.
Now, Frieza being resurrected. We all saw that.
Right.
Now,
I loved it. How Whis was like, bloop.
But how many people were paying attention to the fact that it was a gift from Beerus to resurrect Frieza?
Right.
How many people were paying attention to that?
I think a lot of people noticed it, but I don't know if they noticed it in terms of how you just mentioned it there. You know, Beerus, he pretty much let Frieza do what he did because Beerus is a lazy god of destruction, and he let Frieza just do his destruction for him. Mm-hmm. Beerus is actually the one who said to Frieza, you can go ahead and get rid of those Saiyans.
Yep.
Just take care of it for me. And Frieza did. Well, come to find out now, Beerus loves the Saiyans that he knows in the universe, and Frieza's back in action. I think Beerus is going to go back to being lazy and letting Frieza kind of do his thing.
Drop off now?
I don't think Beerus is going to drop off. I just think perhaps Frieza might be the next candidate for God of Destruction.
Right.
That's my prediction. That's where I think that character's going. And this is where I think ultimately Super is going to end. It ended openly, and Dominic said it here too, talking about how when Goku and Vegeta were fighting, Goku said he can't go UI anymore, which leaves open, for future scenarios where he can go UI, particularly the movie.
Right.
And, Vegeta saying Saiyans have no limits, which is a line straight from the trailer of the movie. And then Frieza having his army back and Beerus giving him that life. It's just setting it up, man.
Right.
That there's no limits to the Dragon Ball universe.
There isn't any limits. And okay, now to talk about the movie that's coming out, which is in December, right? That's what they're saying, but I mean, are they trolling us again? What's going to happen?
No, the movie's definitely coming out in Japan in December, but it might not be the international release. A lot of people thought it was going to be the same day as Japanese release. It's probably not. But they're trying and working on getting it out as soon as possible after the Japanese release. Even sooner than Battle Gods and Resurrection F came out in theaters here. Because they came out like almost half a year later.
Yeah, they're trying to do a global release. Basically like one after the other.
One after the other, right. Make it pretty quick so it's a quick turnaround because they realize now that
they have
worldwide.
A global audience.
Right.
But talking about the movie.
Yes.
Okay, we got Goku that can't just go Ultra Instinct whenever he feels like it.
Right.
And then we have this new character.
This new character that presumably is a Saiyan, but who knows?
Right.
The trailer didn't give us much, but boy, oh boy, does the animation look good.
The animation looks very cool.
I love the fluid animation. Now, it is much simpler in terms of the shading that we're used to compared to the old Dragon Ball Z style, and even the new Dragon Ball Super style, particularly of like the Takahashi animations, like from episode 131, real sharp, shaded animation. They're not really animator friendly. So they're going with the animator Shinda, which does, he's done some One Piece stuff, a lot of it. The latest One Piece movie, and even the Full Metal Alchemist movie, because he's known for his simple animations that are very fluid, which I think will lend perfectly for this movie. It's
to pay attention to the motions of that animation,
right?
And just everything is so light of foot and just moves correctly.
And even when he stomps, going with that light of foot, when he stomps, you feel that weight with that animation.
Yeah, the way his animation, it really focuses on it's reactive. That's what I would say it is.
That's a good way of putting it. I like that.
It's reactive, but I was going to bring up, we have the new character.
Right.
And also, our universe, which is Universe 7, just reincarnated all the erased universes.
Now, key word, all the erased universes. Does that mean...
Ever? Does that mean...
Universes 13 through 18 that are no longer here?
We don't know. That's the cliffhanger they left us with, because now, here's what I'm getting to. When I saw that new Saiyan, first thing I thought was, what universe is he from? Because it's a universe we don't know about.
It could be, and that's the thing. Are you Saiyans only in 6 and 7?
No.
Or if there were 6 more universes, perhaps they weren't just in pairs, they were in thirds. Think about it. 6 triplets.
That makes sense, universes.
Right? And there could be another universe of Saiyans with Saiyans in it.
Absolutely, and evil-ass Saiyans, apparently.
Right. And perhaps it could be an evil Saiyan from the past. Perhaps Shimoshi will show himself.
I mean, we also have the new app coming out that has that new character in it with the blue armor,
right? Which is an ancient Saiyan.
When the video focuses in on his eyes go from that black to this yellow, the yellow one, just like in the movie.
Really, I gotta check that out.
You have to look closely.
I'll check it out because Akira did design that character for Dragon Ball Legends, the new game coming out. And he says it as an ancient Saiyan, and they have leather armor and blah, blah, blah. But he's from a time unknown, so was it from Universe 7 or 6? Or was it an ancient Saiyan of a planet destroyed? Perhaps, and these are just all speculations, the third planet of the triplets and the universes of 18, that 17 happened to resurrect. Without even realizing it. Opening up some really... big possibilities.
Big possibilities, because now we've already taken a bunch of universes, and they purposely left some out.
Right.
And now we're coming back to that, where we're going to figure out what those universes are. That's my theory. We're going to figure out those universes. That's where this new character is coming from. Whether he is a good guy or a bad guy. He looks evil, honestly.
Yeah.
But... it may be some sort of new form that a Saiyan can go into, with that yellow eye and how it has this. It has the lines around it. It's like it's quenching, like the eye is quenching.
Right, and that is sort of Shinda's style though too.
Right.
Because you even saw when Goku rushed at him, even in the blacks of Goku's eyes, you could see those little strain lines.
Oh yeah.
It's just Shinda's design, but it does also mean I feel like it does register as more primal.
Right, like a reptilian.
Yeah, or
Saiyan.
That'd be crazy. What? Well, hey guys, we had a great time here on the PanNerdia Podcast, the first one of its kind.
Very first one.
Talking about Dragon Ball Super, something we love here, and we got a little special announcement. Robert, would you like to tell them about a particular series coming to this channel?
Guys, we're gonna start getting into the Dragon Ball Super card game.
Woo! Yeah.
Do you what are we gonna call that anyway? What kind of series are we gonna call that?
It's gonna be called the Dragon Ball Super card game Blastacular.
Well, that's what we're gonna do. Sorry for clapping. That probably blew everybody's eardrums out.
If the Blastacular didn't already blow your eardrums out,
right?
So essentially, we're gonna be opening It's not a draft box.
It's actually
it's a booster box.
It's a booster box. The number 3 booster box. It's a Dragon Ball Super card game Crossroads booster box.
Cross Worlds, right?
Cross Worlds. Sorry.
Worlds, yeah.
Sorry.
And then what does it have? It's got 24 booster packs in it.
Right.
And each pack's got 12 cards. So we're going to split that down the middle.
Yeah, we're going to open 12 apiece. Just probably just go back and forth and see what we get. And eventually we're just going to put together a whole deck. We're not going to be able to do it with the cards we have now, but we are going to get more after that. Right. And we're going to put together some decks, and we're going to do some
battle
battles.
it out.
Do some battles.
Check it out.
It out.
We got a lot to learn. We still haven't really learned the game fully yet. We're doing our research. We're studying up. We're watching videos. And, you know, we already opened them. The video's already filmed. So we're checking what we got now.
Damn it.
And you guys will have to stay tuned to see what we got.
Right.
And hope you guys are looking forward to it here on PanNerdia. Don't forget to check out the Walker Talkers every Sunday night. It will be carrying over into the Fear the Walking Dead season, which is starting out right after The Walking Dead. As well as a review show coming soon for Westworld Season 2. And plenty of art here at PanNerdia. So thanks for joining us, guys. I'm Aaron.
I'm Robert. You guys have a good night.
Peace.